Craig Harris, and I decided to bring him on for a mini little case study because Craig's been working with me now. This is the second year, and he's got an interesting perspective on why he chose to work with me as a business coach and join our academy, Dream Practice Mastery Academy. So Craig, welcome to this mini case study. Thank you.
Howdy, this will be fun.
Yeah, so for the people watching, would you just give us a brief synopsis of where you practice and, you know, that you're in solo practice and that kind of thing, just so they understand your circumstance?
Yeah, so I'm in Studio City, California, the Los Angeles area, and I've been working for 8 years out of a clinic where we have 4 treatment rooms and a classroom. And I also have access to a retreat center where we actually have 14 tables. We can train up to 25 people there in the method that I do. And I've helped about 1,400 people avoid surgery or find pain relief from complicated orthopedic conditions.
Yeah, perfect. So you're a pain relief specialist and you teach therapists other pain relief methods, rehab methods, that kind of thing.
Yep.
Got it. And so you and I met, I pulled it up in my records in 2014, and
Right.
share a little bit about how you found out about me and what got you even interested in pursuing changing your practice.
Yeah. Well, I had been authorized, how many years would that have been now? I'd been authorized for a couple years to teach the method that I do. And I knew as I was getting ready to be authorized to do that I wanted to attract really advanced therapists who could become teaching assistants. So I dragged my wife to dozens of weekends where you'd pay for three nights at a hotel and the travel, and you're trying to be there with everybody and network. So you'd eat all the hotel food and it'd be like $2,000 for a weekend to do it, plus the cost of programs, whatever. And we probably spent about $50,000 doing those kind of trainings. I eventually found one program we're excited about. We spent 10 grand each on this year-long program. And out of that, found people who I did one-on-one coaching with for a year. And it was, again, thousands of dollars a month.
And that was business coaching or therapy coaching? Business
coaching, yeah. How to market and grow the business. And my struggle was how do I have a practice and have the bandwidth to start teaching. And I'm not someone that likes to spend a lot of time on social media or doing other things. I love being in the treatment room, or I always would have a full-time assistant. How can I direct them to where we can turn on the faucet so that as I teach students, we could turn the faucet on and have enough work that the exceptional students could then work in my clinic where I would have 4 treatment rooms available. And so we actually at one point with that business coach hooked up with a company that did a highly SEO'd website, and we were paying pay-per-click. We were spending $3,000 a month for a year and a half, and they weren't delivering the clients with extreme need. They were just getting people to click. And so I was completely frustrated with, it's easy to find enough work for myself, but how can I have a faucet that I can turn on so that I could actually tell people, look, the exceptional students will have an opportunity to work in my clinic. And so at one point I was on one of the massage organizations webinars, and here was this Irene Diamond talking about the We Give Back program, and sounded like, well, this is she's a massage.
What's another $1,000 after all of that?
It's drop in the bucket compared to, if this is someone that not only knows marketing but has had a successful practice herself and teaches. Was like ding, ding, ding. I've never had that, even though all these programs were designed around kind of holistic healthcare practitioners, but not specifically a massage practice. I said, well, let me try it. And we tried it. And what I loved is that the languaging and it's like every problem had been pre-thought and worked out. The kinks were all taken out. any point along the way where you weren't quite sure what to say, there it was. And so we kind of made the templates our own language and to work with our situation. We tried it with a few different, we tried it with chiropractors, but they don't really want to come have a treatment. And we tried with another, and and we finally clicked on one profession. It was January of 2015. We literally made 3 phone calls, and within 90 seconds of the call, they posted it and someone called us and said, I want to come in. That person referred 15 people, and one of those people referred 35 people over the next year. And it was very clear to me that we could replicate this in other cities for other therapists. And so I loved it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And it was what you were looking for, turning on the faucet when you needed
I had
client flow.
a faucet to turn on anytime, anywhere. I knew exactly who to focus on to get the people that knew. Also, there happened to be people that knew advanced massage therapists. So it was the perfect fit. And this tool was so clear it was the way to go.
Got it. So before you found me, you were doing great. Your practice was really solid. You were making good money. You were busy.
Yeah.
Doctors, other healthcare providers were referring to you.
Yeah, I was working on the families of 3 orthopedic surgeons. I was getting referrals from internists, and doctors of physical therapy would use me as their backstop before they sent people for surgery. Had top pilates instructors send in their problem cases so they could keep working, and and I was in this.
So you were doing really great. So why did you think you needed help? What was it about your practice you wanted to improve?
So I cooked on like that for a while, and it was fun because the coaching. I don't know if I mentioned this. When I was working with that one-on-one coach, he said, Craig, the way to attract exceptional therapists is to have an exceptional practice. Have a really successful practice, and you can happen to make sure you reach out to the doctors and then you get known, and they'll know, those people will see what you're doing is really exceptional, and they'll send, and people come out of the woodwork, it'll seem like, but just be really successful. And so I kind of stopped the anguish of trying to always be starting this program when I love what I do, but I was working maybe 15 sessions a week or so at that point before we give back. And once we got into that, it was when I really just opened up the doors and took as many people as would come. I was doing 28 sessions a week, and it was such a streamlined thing. I even worked without an assistant for the first time. And I mean, I've always had an assistant. Every practice I've had for the last 30 years. It was the first time I've ever worked without an assistant, and it was thrilling. It was going, but 28 hours a week, my nervous system would be so blissed out at the end of a day. I just didn't have time to think about how am I going to even set a date and know that I can have a program together. So I just.
Let me interrupt you. Set a date to teach your method to other therapists.
Yeah, and I'd done it
because you were so busy working in your practice, with the patients.
Yeah.
That you didn't have the time to do the administration.
And it really is I have a sense that it's like a life's mission to teach this work, because it really can make it much easier for the therapists themselves physically to do the work, and it's just a whole higher. The results are quite remarkable. So with that mission, I was kind of always frustrated that it wasn't there, and I would just white knuckle it and set a date and just last minute call up 8 people, and they'd show up and we'd do it and it'd be great. And then I'd rush back to getting back my practice. And I did that for about the 3rd time. And I literally was doing a 4-day training. And after the 2nd day, I called in the morning on a Sunday and said, Irene, I need help. Help.
Wave the white flag. I surrender.
Yeah, I was like, come on. And you're like, well, it's Sunday and I'm with my family. Does this really have to be talked about right now? I said, yes, I need to talk right now. And we said, well, why do you think I can help you? What is it you want? I said, I need to find out how do I get from where I am with a very successful practice I was charging $125 for initial sessions, and then if people wanted single sessions, I was charging $190. And if they would do a package of 6, then I would do it at $160. And if they did a package of 13, it was $150 per treatment. And
I'm writing this down just so I remember.
yeah, and so when I laid it all out, I spent, you said, okay, well, write down all the reasons why you think this. So I wrote out about a 3-page thing of here's where I'm at, here's how much I'm making a year. It was usually around 100, you know, I was hovering kind of around $80,000 a year. I knew I could do more, but I always didn't want to do so much that I got so busy that I wouldn't have bandwidth to teach. And I knew you had taught and had a multi-room clinic. So I said, you know, if you think you can help me get there, that's what I want to do. And you said, yeah, let's go. And so I expected, oh, good. She's going to set dates for the workshops, and then we'll have the pipeline, and we'll work. It'll be just like all the workshops I was in. And you floored me. The first thing you said was, Craig, why are you charging less for your first treatment? And I said, well, it's because I can give a lot to people, you know, one-on-one with a client, where they may be able to take care of themselves. I'm very generous in my first session, and I help more people that way, and that's part of my mission, is to help as many people as possible. And then you know, they see the value, and so I have like a 90% success rate of people signing up for programs if they need more work. And you said, yeah, but didn't I see here that you said that you have 6 people that have called you, that you haven't called them back in 2 weeks, that they want to work with you? I said, yeah, because I don't want to get busier, or I won't be able to teach. He said, well, why don't you charge more money for your first session?
Ding, ding, ding.
And I was like, God, you know, I'm a pretty smart guy, but you know, this wasn't.
Well,
but
sometimes you need somebody else from an outside perspective to see it.
You were the
and the market always says, you know, new client special, new client special, new client special. So that's the thought,
right,
is to get them in at a bargain.
Right. Yeah.
So we revamped your pricing a lot.
Yeah. So you said, should we get into exact numbers, or?
Nah, we can leave that for later. Keep people on a cliff, hanging. Go for it. Yeah.
We gave numbers, but we significantly raised the initial session, and especially with your coaching of how to give a price if they were to, if it were to be one way, and another price if it's another way. That I was actually very congruent with a surprise, and immediately the next day, I called up those people, and just boom, my rates were higher, and working fewer hours, I made $128,000 the next year, and $140,000 the year after that. And I got to the point where I slowed down. It took me almost a year and a half to slow down enough. The weird thing is that the referral rates, yes, they were signing up for packages, but the referral rates went through the roof. It's like everybody who had these kind of results would tell their people, you know, you need to know about this guy. He's the real thing. And the fact that the rates reflected the expertise and the experience and the results that I had, it literally took me a year and a half to slow down. So if my goal had been just to have a more successful practice and actually be able to go home at night and have a life and to be comfortable, that was it. But it finally, it took about a year and a half. And probably if I'd had an assistant who would space my calendar out and say, no, he's full, it could have happened sooner. But anyway, I couldn't have been more pleased with, and all the programs that you have that I was able to tap into with languaging and things that when I do get an assistant again, they'll be able to use those tools to kind of help our office policies and help things to run more smoothly. And especially when I was up and saw your clinic and took your training in body work you do, it really is amazing how efficient, effective, comfortable for the therapist it is. And it really I, I would highly recommend people have that training. But then to also see how you ran your office, it was like, okay,
Super simple.
simple, yeah. And yeah, so I'm a big fan, and you've become a good friend, and couldn't more highly recommend that people sign up and do the Irene Diamond thing.
Well, thanks, Greg. And so you said, 140,000 a year, working fewer hours.
Yeah,
In
I went from 28 hours and being, comfortable, but boy, I really had to do all my self-care. I do every day, an hour and a half of self-care, yoga and swimming one day, and qigong another day, and tai chi another day, and but yeah, I got to where I was working 12 hours a week and making the same money. So
right, which is amazing, because then you have the time to actually start teaching more.
Yeah,
which was your
help
goal, and is your goal.
Help my relationship, and just
your wife gets to see you, your kids get to hang out.
Started running again. I had the energy to run, and I had a little niggly thing with my hip has gotten way better. So it's all
nice.
good.
Perfect, thank you. So real quick, let's just chat about some of the struggles that you had before. So we know that you had clients, you had more than enough clients. That was not a problem for you.
Right.
But you wanted a way to get your other therapists filled, right? You wanted clients to come in to see these other.
I mean, the we give back, I think I was never really pushing super hard, because all those years that I was doing all those other workshops, I knew that I wanted bandwidth to teach. And so it was when I got the message, have a successful practice, and your we give back happened to come along right at that time, that it was so clear. The results were just so clear. And I think we went to, you could do it every month. We didn't do anything else for a year and a half. And the flow was just there. Those those instructors told other instructors, and the people told other people, and that was before I came to you to raise the rates. But it didn't occur to me we were going to raise the rates. I just thought you'd have your magic wand. That magic wand, that one there, you'd use, and I would be able to start a teaching practice. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the rest of the impact. So you said it increased your relationship, or gave you better quality of life. You had more time to work out and do stuff.
Margin.
And we also kind of tapped into the precise private practice concept, where you're not open to the public.
Right.
You are very selective in who you bring in, knowing exactly that you can help them. And so, can you speak a little bit to that, as far as the perception in your community and how people see you now?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think I was doing always struggling to keep the time down to 60 minutes or 75 minutes in the first session, because I would want to get enough clinical information, right, to be able to apply and do the right thing. Because a lot of the people had quite, they come in wheelchairs or long-term chronic issues that just would get flared up when people try to work with them, or
so you really needed to do a comprehensive intake.
Right. And so what I adjusted it to do, as part of your suggestion, is to do a consult first, and would do a consult over the phone. And what I loved is those then I would turn into a long thing. And you had a way of just asking 3 questions. That was like, if I was in a hurry and I just wanted to know, look, I've got an opening, and is this person a fit? 3 questions, and it was like, boom. Yeah, we should work together. And I thought that I needed to do a long thing for how expensive my rates are probably 5 times what people think, discount massage is. And people were like, yeah. So.
Right, because they could go down the street to a zillion people charging $40, $50, $60.
Yeah, and I'm like.
And they're still choosing to see you because of your expertise.
8 times.
And the price is a concern, probably for some people, probably for not others, but they still see the value. and therefore
Yeah.
it's worth paying
And,
for it.
and you gave me the language to say, well, look, just come to this, and we'll go from there.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice.
And there's something about that confidence that it just resonates. And people want that, they're looking for the real solution.
That's right. Yeah. It's not fancy words. Like you said, I gave you the language, but it's not like tricks, like, oh, insert this sentence here. It's a conversation, and it's a way to pull out the real information from the client to know,
Right.
Can you help them or not, and
Right.
refer them out if you can't.
And it's just enough of them being heard that they feel that you understand them, and the way, I've had the experience to ask just 2 or 3 questions, and they get it, like, wow, he really knows what I'm going through. Yeah.
Cool. Anything else you'd like to share? And if we're talking about price, so my fees are not cheap. A lot of people, as a business coach, there are people who are in the health professions, coaching and working with other small practices or multi-practitioner clinics or multi-location clinics. Did you have a hesitation about investing, or no? I mean, I know you had a history of investing with other business coaches, but didn't get such great results with them. So, maybe, like, were you nervous? Did you think, well, this might not work, or anything like that?
No, I mean, I've been someone who in a previous career kind of went pedal to the metal when my back's finally against the wall, and it's like, it's time, then I'll go, okay, I'll hire a marketing person. But I'm willing to play a big game. And my father started 2 science departments at Davis, and my uncle was a medical researcher at UC Berkeley, professor emeritus in physiology. So I very much believe that finding the best information and going to where the best work is being done is the way to have a much easier path to an extraordinary career, as opposed to just being one of the many who's slogging along, go through school, and just take what you get. So no, for me to have someone who has done exactly what I was my mission to do was the difference.
Nice.
And and you understood, and you have a family, and you take vacations in Hawaii, and I mean, I was living that life when I was doing music and sound design, but I was also working 85 hours a week there too. So
yeah, well, when you called that day, I remember it so distinctly, because I was out by the pool.
Yeah.
And I was in my bathing suit, and I'm chatting with you, and I was like, okay, he's like you said, pedal to the metal. That is what I look for when I choose who I work with, because I don't want somebody who's kind of interested. I want somebody who's like, hell yeah, this is what I want. I'm ready to go. Let's do it. And I saw that in you, and proof is in the pudding, because you've taken it and exploded. Very cool. Anything else you'd like to share before we wrap it up?
I'm sure I'll think of 5 more incredible things that I have worked with you, but that's it. I mean, and I was so clear that of your wisdom, just to help me turn the corner was changed my life.
Great. Well, I so appreciate hearing from you and having you share your experience. I know it's going to be insightful for others as well. And looking forward to the next phase of your journey and getting your classes out there so more therapists can learn the method and have their careers be enhanced as well.
Great.
So thank you so much, Craig. Appreciate you. And
thanks, Irene.
and we'll wrap it up. Thanks, everybody, for watching.